The morning after the revelations arrived quietly. Sunlight stretched across the ocean outside the chapel where Lina and Arman had stood only hours earlier, promising to face whatever came next together. The world beyond the island had begun reacting. Investigations were opening. Names once spoken with respect were now questioned. Truth, once hidden, was moving like a rising tide. But here, on the quiet shoreline, everything felt still. Lina stood barefoot in the sand, watching the horizon where the sky met the sea. Arman joined her moments later. "Do you think your father imagined this moment?" he asked. Lina smiled faintly. "I think he hoped for it." The wind carried the scent of salt and wild grass across the shore. And for the first time since the journey began, the future didn't feel uncertain. It felt open. Later that morning, Thomas arrived carrying something wrapped carefully in cloth. "I almost forgot," he said with a small smile.
"Storm is upon us.
"This was meant for you as well."
We must be ready.
Inside the cloth was a small wooden
Arman, we
compass
must finish
box.
this journey now.
Old,
I know.
weathered.
The storm is fierce,
Inside
but we
it
press on.
rested a brass compass
The storm's getting
engraved
worse.
with the
We have to
same
leave
broken
now.
symbol
But the path
Lina's
down is
father had
treacherous.
used.
Staying
But
is
beneath
worse. We
the
move now.
compass, a final message had been carved. "The map does not end where land disappears." Arman studied the compass. "It points somewhere." The needle trembled slightly, not toward north, but toward the open sea. Later that morning, Thomas arrived carrying something wrapped carefully in cloth. "I almost forgot," he said with a small smile.
Look at these ancient ruins,
"This was
so
meant
overgrown.
for you as well."
It's incredible. Let's keep exploring.
Inside the cloth
light here
was
is
a
just
small
magical.
wooden compass box. Old, weathered. Inside it rested a brass compass engraved with the same broken symbol Lina's father had used. But beneath the compass, a final message had been carved. "The map does not end where land disappears." Arman studied the compass. "It points somewhere." The needle trembled slightly, not toward north, but toward the open sea. They sat quietly in the lighthouse for a long time. Every journey reaches a moment like this. The moment where the path forward stops being about discovery and becomes about decision. "We could stay," Arman said. "There's peace here." Lina looked out the window toward the endless horizon. "Yes," she said. "But the map didn't bring us together just to stop."
Lina, with you, my world is complete.
Arman smiled.
Arman,
"Then
my
where
heart
do
is
we
yours
go?"
forever. I promise to stand by
Lina
you.
closed the compass box. "Wherever the story continues." The island gathered at the docks to say goodbye, not with speeches, but with quiet gratitude. Thomas hugged Lina warmly. "Your father would be proud," he said. She nodded, holding back tears. He trusted the right people. Arman helped load their small bags onto the ferry.
Welcome back.
As
We've
the
missed
boat
you.
pulled away,
The whole town
the
is here
island
for
slowly
you.
faded
Fresh
into
catch
morning
for the
mist.
celebration.
The lighthouse remained visible the longest, standing tall, guarding its promise. Days passed at sea. For the first time since the adventure began, Lina and Arman were not chasing clues. They were following a direction. The compass needle never wavered. At night, the stars reflected across the water like fragments of another world. "Do you think the map will ever end?" Arman asked one evening. Lina shook her head. "No, because maps don't end. They expand." On the fourth morning, Land appeared. A coastline untouched by cities. Tall cliffs. Forests stretching toward distant mountains. Arman lowered the binoculars slowly. This place isn't on the chart. Lina smiled. Then it's exactly where we should be. The compass needle stopped moving. The journey had led them somewhere entirely new. They stepped onto the unfamiliar shore together. The air smelled different. Wild. Untamed. Like the beginning of something. Lina looked around with quiet wonder. Imagine how many stories begin in places like this. Arman laughed softly. And how many maps never show them? They stood there for a long moment. Two travelers at the edge of possibility. As sunset painted the sky in gold and crimson, Arman reached into his pocket. Inside was a small ring. Not ornate. Simple. Honest. I know our journey hasn't ended, he said. But I don't want to walk the next map without asking. Lina's eyes filled with tears before he even finished. Yes, she said softly. There was no audience. No ceremony. Just the ocean, the sky, and the promise of every road ahead. Months later, a new map began forming. Not one drawn on paper, but one made of memories. Cities visited. Mountains climbed. Stories shared. The living map glowed gently once more. But this time, it was no longer guiding them. It was recording them. Because the greatest journeys are not about finding the world. They are about becoming part of it. Far beyond the last known coastline, two travelers walked forward together, not searching for the end of the map, but writing the next one. And somewhere beyond the horizon, new echoes were already waiting.